Hey everyone, grab your tea and relax. This video is a little bit hard for me to make. For those of you who are already subscribed, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Tavala and I make videos in order to share my journey through medicine with you. If you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I like to show the realistic aspects of my life, share my reflections, lessons learned, and the idea is that in knowing what I'm really going through, you guys may be able to pick up some lessons yourselves and get a realistic insight into my life as a doctor. I appreciate that it's been ages since I've actually posted a video out on here. The last that you would have seen of me is when I was starting a new job, having just completed my 2 years of training after finishing medical school. This job was only for a short period of time, and since then I've had about a month and a half off from work. I finished that job at the start of October, and since then I've been visiting a couple cities within the UK, and more recently I went to Switzerland where I was for around 3 weeks. Now, the whole idea of traveling and stuff was to give myself a break away from work, and I actually thought I was burnt out considering I started working in the midst of COVID and had to go through the second wave. I shared a little bit with you towards the end of last year about bullying, and although at the beginning of my foundation year 2 training I was pretty active on social media and I was telling you guys about my life and I was really enjoying my job, there came a point where I kind of ghosted from social media, and I kept telling myself I was gonna come on and like put on a brave face and just like talk about my day and still make content, but like that sort of thing, just the whole putting on a brave face and just faking it till you make it, like that's not my vibe. It is very conflicting with my way of living and my style. The only way that I know to share my journey with you guys is through honesty. And even though it's meant that I've taken some time away from everything, not even deliberately, it's just like how things panned out, I'm hoping that in sharing my honest situation with you guys would mean that I can come back online honestly and you know, like share my journey with you guys, and I'm hoping that it would be received well, and I hope that it would provide you guys with, as I said, some insight, but also it might be a bit helpful. And yeah, for the last couple of months, like I feel as though I've just been sort of hiding away. I've been like really just facing it all on my own. I've been having this like uneasy feeling for the last couple months actually, but then because I was keeping myself busy in just like, you know, going to work and, you know, just like really just that, to be honest, spending time with family and just like going to sleep. I thought I was just like taking things slow or whatever, and I made some posts on Instagram talking about how I was burnt out and I was just coming to terms with that, and that I hope it's okay that I share with you my actual process through that. But with further reading and learning about what burnout actually is, it's more quite specific to your working environment or whatever thing you're burnt out from. So then if you're away from that setting, you should ideally thrive. So in my case, I thought, okay, I'm burnt out from work, and then when I was away from work, I realized that actually I wasn't thriving. You know, people were thinking, oh, you know, you're traveling around the UK, you're in Switzerland, you're living your best life, how you doing? It must be so refreshing having had a break. But unfortunately for the last month and a half, all I've really been doing is sleeping. I was waking up early, making some breakfast, and then going back to bed for a couple of hours, and then having a slow start to the morning, making myself another cup of tea, going to Tesco or Co-op, buying some groceries and cooking that up for lunch, and then the same thing again for dinner. And I was learning to cook, and I really enjoyed the process of cooking and eating, but also living out. I needed to actually cook so that I could eat, because it's like a basic necessity. Over the period of a month and a half, I exercised maybe like a total of 6 times, and on all those occasions I posted it on my socials being like, oh look, went for a run and whatever. And yeah, and just this conversation itself, I'm procrastinating from what I really want to say. Over the month and a half, objectively, if I look at it, I've not been doing any of my hobbies. I haven't done any photography, even though for the last month and a half I'd been carrying both of my cameras, my vlog camera as well as my Sony. I took my microphone set with me. I thought I was going to record a song. I didn't record anything. I took my hard drives with me, all 3 of them. I didn't do a single vlog editing. I've got a backlog of vlogs from actually a whole year ago, and I didn't find, it's not the time, I just didn't have the desire to sit down and open up a vlog. Even though it's interesting because throughout my time when I was working, if I did have my breaks, so my lunch times, I would be so enthusiastic to edit a vlog, or on my commute, on the way to work, on the way back. I'm so keen to just sit down and edit, whether it's a photograph for Instagram, YouTube, or if it's a video. I had no desire to do that. Also thinking about it in terms of like the way that I would dress or whatever was just like not me. I would walk out the house in pajamas. Even my friend in Switzerland was like, girl, you are literally in your pajama bottoms. Are you sure you don't want to get changed into something else? And I was like, I'm comfortable like this. She forced me into wearing her jeans, and I was like, fine, if you're really making me. On another day, I literally strolled out of bed in my trackies on a jumper that my friend had like forced me to wear the day before, and I was like, I don't know about you getting changed, but I'm gonna go out in this. And she was like, I think you should get changed. And I was like, no, I don't want to. But at this point I hadn't like labeled what was going on. It's only when like I just kept not finding the desire to do anything, and like doing anything, even like getting out of bed and doing a bit of exercise. It wasn't like the sort of baseline exercise that I would do. It was just like small stuff that I would find so exhausting, and I just like kept finding myself crawling back into bed. I found myself complaining about a lot of things, including with people that I was close to. Throughout this time I felt that one little thing was a bit off. So a couple of months ago I actually signed up to BetterHelp, which is like an online app where you can be paired with a therapist depending on what your specific issues are. So I got myself a therapist from that, and I thought it was more just sort of like interpersonal stuff that I wanted some help on. Basically I had like a close interaction with somebody toxic in the past, and there were like some learned behaviors and stuff that I wanted to kind of like ensure didn't repeat itself. So that's the actual reason that I signed up to therapy. But it turns out, and like reading my symptoms as well, that I think I have depression. And yeah, it's not even just like the feeling of it, but just like objectively speaking, even like my close friends or family would say like, you know, stuff you used to do, you just don't do any of it anymore. And the thing about it is like, I don't have the desire to do those things. Even like coming on to hit record for you guys is like something that I've been putting off doing. I have something in my eye. It's something that I've been avoiding doing. I promised myself on my birthday, which was a couple days ago, that I would film this today.
Today's your birthday, eh? Mm-hmm. How much you excited today?
Not at all.
Why?
Last night, for example, I didn't sleep properly because I just kept waking up thinking, oh my gosh, it's time to film, it's time to film. Normally I would have loved to sit here and film a video, even if it's talking about something that's actually something I find difficult. But like, the only thing that drove me to really come on here is I want to just kind of put it out there that that I am depressed. If you guys know my situation, then it just saves me from having to sit and explain to everybody and have everyone sort of like pity me or ask me things that I don't know how to talk about. So one of the questions I've had people ask is, why are you depressed? It's just fixing the camera and myself. One of the questions that I've had people ask me is, why are you depressed? And I know it might initially sound like a silly question, but to me, depression feels like a state where, say, like my emotional range is like from here to here. For me, it's like I'm blunted from here to like there, but I feel that even though like I can feel happy, and if I'm doing something that makes me happy, especially social interactions with people. There's a song that I resonate to. It's an Amy Winehouse song, and it's just like, run around so I don't have to think about thinking. And it highlights to me that when I'm busy and I'm just like doing stuff, I'm fine. But then it's like, as soon as I sit with myself, it's like, I feel happy, but I don't feel like that kick of happiness is there anymore. And in terms of sadness as well, like I can feel sad, but I wouldn't bawl my eyes out over even things that I would have thought I would have like bawled my eyes out over. But when I was talking to my therapist recently, I do believe I've got to the bottom of like what has caused my depression in the first place. And when I was talking to her, I was like properly crying, like breathing like this. I felt like I was being choked, and my eyes, my face was like completely wet from tears. And my therapist said to me, Mama, I didn't know you were bottling up so much. And I was like, well, neither did I. Really what it was is like I had some comment from a supervisor many months ago, saying things like that YouTubers are narcissists, YouTubers have annoying in real life personalities, doctors that do social media use their title of doctor to look good in front of the public, that, you know, I should spend my break times and my lunch times trying to show people that know who I am in real life so that they don't judge me by who I am on the internet, even though I feel that who I am on the internet is actually pretty reflective of who I am in person. And I'm an introvert. Like during my break times and my lunch times, I want to sit by myself and like have my food, especially because like break times are not that long. It just for me felt exhausting. There were lots of other things that I could talk about, but they were determined to ensure that I didn't progress, and they circulated one of my videos on YouTube, and basically like throughout many months I felt like constantly under watch, and carrying that sort of feeling constantly is emotionally exhausting. And basically the things that he said about me, other senior colleagues were coming to inform me of, and they were not very nice things. I just feel like there's not much I can actually say on camera, to be honest. But one of the things that this person said to me, and these were the last words that I had heard from him directly to me, was that, oh, Mama, I know you try and be all inspiring on social media, but maybe you should make your reality match up. And at the time, I remember thinking, well, I know that I inspire so many people, so your comment is so irrelevant. I'm not the type of person that like usually just ignores what people have to say. I am a sensitive person. I have feelings and thoughts like every other human being. So for me, just like ignoring a comment like that was like not healthy. And over time it ate into me. Over time I was anxious about coming and posting anything on social media, because I was thinking like, even if I say something innocent, it's going to be misconstrued into something bigger, and then that's gonna like work against me on social media, that's gonna work against me in my world of work. And that kind of feeling like really eats into you and bothers you, even if you don't want to like attend to it immediately. And my last job was like really busy. On my days off, I felt like super exhausted and just would sleep the whole day. So instead, what I did was like, I kept myself even more busy by doing more work. And basically, it came to a point where I actually loved being at work. I really enjoyed it. But then whenever I would sit with myself, I just didn't feel entirely like myself. And I thought it was just like tired and exhaustion, but on reflection it was depression. And I think another reason why I've not sort of like come to terms with it sooner is that I never thought I'd be here. I did a pretty good job of managing my mental health throughout foundation training. Even before that, I would naturally sort of tend towards anxious behaviors rather than depressive. Yeah, I just never thought I'd be that person. But you know, many people who do suffer from mental health illness don't sit and think, yeah, when I grow up I'm gonna have this mental health issue. You sometimes unfortunately get there. But in my experience of, you know, mental health and seeing people who have mental health, who have made great recoveries, you know, I am hopeful that this is just a state for the moment. And like most things in life, I'm determined to get to where I want to be, which is the feeling, thinking, functional person that I was many months ago, who was like productive, but productive in ways that are meaningful. But like right now, I'm not gonna cry because no. To be honest, if I cry, my brother would like wake up and come inside. But like I've got stuff on the door, so like he's gonna struggle to get inside. What I want to do is like make a plan on like how I'm gonna like bounce back from depression in a similar way to how I bounced back from failure at that time. And like I want to share my journey with you guys, and I'm not expecting it to be like a linear process. I'm, you know, expecting like highs and lows, and maybe I recover a bit, but I might just dip again. And it's going to be a journey, and it's not going to be like a little walk in the park. It's not going to take me a couple of weeks. It'll take me months at least. I'm hoping to share my journey with you guys in the hopes that it'll be helpful. And for me, I was talking to somebody, and what they said to me was,
doing the little things that you like doing despite not feeling motivated to do them does make a big difference. And it's almost about kind of forcing it back into habit until you start enjoying again.
Whether it's going to the gym, even though I'm not doing like a full workout, which I actually tried recently. I was on the rowing machine. I was there for like a total of 6 minutes, and like I just started crying because I was like, I used to do so much more. What on earth is this? Like, it's so embarrassing. Then I approached it with, you know, what I would say to somebody if they were in my shoes, and I would never talk to them in the way that I had like negatively talked to myself. So yeah, it's about like being a friend to myself and whatnot. And another thing that I want to do is like, whilst I'm grateful for support from friends and family, I do also want to do this for myself, so that when I'm standing again, I don't want to be standing with crutches or a frame. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet again. I've forgotten where this conversation is going, but I'm going to continue to think out loud. Speaking about support, as I said, I'm getting therapy, even though it's privately. For me, it was more coincidental because I already had a therapist for something entirely separate. But in recent sessions, we've shifted the focus. It was only in my last couple of days where I was at Switzerland where I turned to my therapist and was just like, yo, the thing that bothering me wasn't actually the thing bothering me. I'm depressed. And I got this document from online where it was just like burnout versus depression. And I was like, I don't take anything in the burnout category. I spoke to her about it, and she sent me some resources which I'm hoping to explore with you guys in a separate video. So if you're interested in that, then please do watch another video that I will post at some point, inshallah. It was just like, you know, things that I enjoy still. I still do enjoy things, but just not the way I used to. And my other issue is like, I don't have the desire so much to do things that would usually make me happy. I was just in between, like, am I supposed to just like wait until I feel okay again? Am I supposed to do some digging into why I feel the way that I feel? Or am I supposed to like still do things that make me happy? I'm not giving you guys the advice, but the advice that I've had so far is to do a combination of both. Regarding what happened about, you know, the comments that I received and stuff, and, you know, feeling like my career was on the line, and, you know, this person being really out to get me with their comments and what they were doing behind all that, which I am not going to talk about. That sort of stuff I need to like actually sit and think about from a place of compassion, because that's the only way I know how to forgive other people. And I feel like in this moment in time, I haven't forgiven the person who caused me so much harm psychologically and career-wise. So yeah, I need to find the courage and strength to like sit with that, even though I know it's going to be uncomfortable, and really just like explore, which I didn't find the time to do before. Well, as I said, I was just trying to ignore, because initially I was like, well, this is irrelevant, and it obviously wasn't. On the topic of support, I am seeing my GP as soon as I'm able to. I have an appointment booked. We'll just explore my options then, and I'll keep you guys updated. So yeah, my apologies that this video has been sort of all over the place, but I hope the gist of it that you've got is that I've been absent from here because like I've just not been feeling myself. I want to be back doing things that actually make me happy, even if it's in small doses. I want to share my journey with you guys in case it helps a soul or two. And yeah, if you guys have like any questions or whatever, or there's like specific parts of my experiences you want me to touch on, then let me know in the comments below, and I'll keep you guys updated. And yeah, hopefully I feel myself again sooner than later, and I'm super grateful for all of you guys' support that you've offered me so far. And obviously I have to say what every YouTuber kind of has to say: make sure you're subscribed, make sure you've hit the post notification bell so that you don't miss my videos, especially because I haven't posted in a while. I know YouTube might try and just like hide me away from the rest of the world, but yeah, if you want to see my stuff, then make sure you've hit the bell. And what's the last thing? Comment. Yeah, comment. But also I might be posting more stuff on Instagram, maybe not, maybe TikTok. So like, if you're not subscribed to me or you don't follow me on those platforms, then I hope you would want to follow me there. And yeah, keep grabbing your tea, guys, and relaxing. Take time to look after yourself. Take time to tune into how you really are feeling. And yeah, I will see you guys soon.